and when you think about it, what Father asked me to do, when you think about it, live one day at a time. That's a lot harder to do than you think. I mean, everybody thinks that's easy to do, but I'd have to say wrong. It's not. Because what he was really asking me to do is have enough faith in God to let him carry the cross, let Jesus carry the cross. And for a planner guy like me, a guy that likes to have life planned out, that's really hard to do. But I gotta say, when myself and our family decided to do that, life got a lot easier, because we kind of put our fears aside, and we lived our life one day at a time, and it lifted our burdens and made our burden a lot lighter. So that was in my mind a real help to us once we got to that. And recently I heard a story. A friend of ours told us a story about a boy in Pittsburgh, 15-year-old boy in Pittsburgh, loved life. Was always the life of the party at their house. I mean, when he came over to visit with his, he was best friends with their son, and he just loved being around. And unfortunately, he was killed in a skiing accident out in Colorado this past winter. And our friend went to the funeral, and believe it or not, the mother got up to speak in front of the church, which, I mean, I just can't even imagine that. At her worst hour, she had the strength and the faith to get up and talk and try to console her community about the tragedy that she had gone through with her son dying. And one of the things that really struck my friend, and it struck me as she told the story to us, was that her friend said, turn down the noise. And when you think about that, turn down the noise, I mean, I think that is so profound. I mean, in our lives, how many times we get so busy with things that we don't turn down the noise to see the little things in life that mean so much, those Godwin things that we talked about last year so much, the time to thank people. I mean, do you really turn down the noise and thank the people in your life that got you where you are? Because none of us have gotten to where we are today without those special people in our lives. And quite honestly, in tonight's session, I don't have the time to thank all those people that can do that. But we all can take time to do that. And I'd like you to take just 10 or 15 seconds, 20 seconds, let's say, and for just those 20 seconds, think about those people that have got you to where you are in your life, and take a minute to thank them in your heart. As I look back on this past 18 months, I have to laugh in many ways. I feel more blessed and happier than I've ever been. And I know you're sitting there thinking, how's that possible? You've been told you're going to die in 2 months. I mean, how is that possible? Out of this terrible, terrible disease, so many good things have happened. I mean, we've rekindled friendships, we've reconnected with people, and my good friend John Park, who I work with at Penn State, always asks me at the end of any session, Greg, what'd you learn? What'd you learn over these past, he would ask me that today, over these past 18 months, what have you learned? And I think there's 3 things that really stand out to me, and I'm going to explain them to you, but I'm going to list them first. And they are, don't get constipated. The second one is get up and put your pants on, and the third one is eat like a bird and poop like an elephant. And when I think about this, what does that mean? What does that possibly mean? And don't get constipated. To me, that means change a habit. Get rid of your stinking thinking, if you will. I mean, for me, as I change, and as I think of that change, I mean, change was made for me. I mean, I didn't choose this disease. For whatever reason, it chose me. And I thought, well, gosh, what did it create for me? It created more time for me. I've been blessed with this 18 months, but also time to think and reflect more. And one of the things I decided to do for myself was to spend more time reading the Bible and spending time with my Lord. And when I did this, I found out, how to trust Him more. I really could embrace the idea of living one day at a time. And so, as I think back on the 50 years prior to that, I'm not sure that I always took that time. And so being forced to change, making me forced to get unconstipated, if you will, in my thinking, has been a huge blessing to me, because now I'm definitely more in touch with my spiritual side, because I've now taken the time. I take the time every day to spend that time reading the Bible and spending time with the Lord, and that's been a huge thing. The second thing was get up and put your pants on. And this may not look good tonight if I'm not there, that I didn't get up and put my pants on, but believe me, that was at all costs, because there was no way I was not going to be there unless I am deathly sick. So, but get up and put your pants on, live life. Get out of your chair. And if you're ever going to accomplish anything in life, you have to get out of your chair. This is both physically and emotionally. You got to get out of your chair. I can't tell you how many days I felt like just staying in bed. I mean, with this kind of a disease, it breaks you down physically, it breaks you down spiritually, it breaks you down emotionally. And there's many times I felt like just staying in bed. But I had to get up and put my pants on. And you know what? It made me feel better. And when you get those things done, when you get off the chair, when you change a habit, get off the chair and go do something, I can guarantee you'll feel better. Because we all have those days when we don't want to get out of bed. We all have those days when we don't want to get off the couch. But when we get off the couch and we do something, we get a sense of accomplishment. We feel good about what we are and who we are. We feel better about ourselves, and life gets better. And so I think it's important that you get up and put your pants on. The third thing I've learned is eat like a bird, poop like an elephant. And I know you're really sitting there thinking, what the heck could that possibly mean? Well, to me that means leave behind more than you ever take. It's really, there's a lot of takers in this world. Are you a taker? Or are you a giver? And I would hope, and I know the people in this room are all givers, so leave behind more than you take. As friends and families and community, you've definitely left more with me over these last 18 months than I could ever imagine. Last summer, a friend dropped off a book to me called Miracles Every Day, and it was a story of Dr. Namey, who was an anesthesiologist in Cleveland, who decided to give up his anesthesiology practice and go into hands-on healing. And the person that dropped it off really struggled with, gee, should I do this? Because wasn't sure if I was ready for that at that point to be able to handle a book like that. But I'm so glad that she did, because it's helped change my life. I was so moved by the book that I really decided to look more into hands-on healing, and found a local priest who does hands-on healing, who Kathy and I, after some prodding, went to see, and found out that just what a beautiful thing hands-on healing is. And we actually went to a service over in Indiana where there was some hands-on healing that happened, and never thought, we kind of sat in the back of the church because we weren't sure what it was all about. And when it came to our turn to go down, went down, and Father Keel laid his hands on me, and instantly I felt the rush of the Holy Spirit and a sense of peace and healing that I know that I would never have felt if I'd not read the book, and hence went to the healing service. A few months later, we actually had the good fortune of meeting Dr. Namey. Actually had an appointment with him, went to his office, and again, just a humble, actually a very introverted man, and a very spiritual man. And as he prayed with us and he did his healing with us, I was just amazed just about his strength and the strength he gave you, and could definitely feel with his touch that same spirit and hands-on healing that I got when I was at the healing service. It was just a beautiful experience. Kathy said to Dr. Namey, you know, you have quite a gift. And he said, oh no, I don't have a gift, I'm just an instrument. And he went on to explain that we all have the instrument of healing. When we walk into a room and we smile at somebody who's down, we've helped to heal them. When somebody's hurting and we put our arms around them and hug them, we've helped to heal them with our touch. And so we all have the gift to heal people. His gift, his instrument, is a little bit more fine-tuned than our instrument. But we all have that instrument, and I encourage you to use your instrument to help heal people every day, to touch people, and use your special powers to be able to reach out and touch those who are hurting. Because I got to tell you, in the 18 months that we've been fighting this battle, we've really experienced everybody's prayers. We've experienced everybody's healing through stopping in and praying with us and touching us and talking with us. So, I mean, I can't emphasize enough how important that has been to us to help get us through this journey. Lastly, I just want to talk about cancer. I mean, raise your hand if you know somebody that has cancer. And I can bet, even though I'm not there, that the entire room raised their hand. I mean, and when I think about that, you know, I think about everyone that has passed away from cancer. You know, last year, hundreds of thousands of people died from this nasty disease called cancer. 40,000 people died from pancreatic cancer last year. I mean, and you know, it's the largest, just the treatment of cancer is the largest drain on our healthcare system. I mean, there's more money spent on cancer treatment than on any other disease out there. I mean, you think about, you know, we've talked so much about health plans and national health over the last several years. If we find a cure for cancer, guess what? A lot of those things go away. I mean, it really does. And when I think about, and when you think about this, at the very least, it should make you angry. I mean, at the absolute very least, it should make you angry. When I think about it, obviously it makes me very angry that we don't spend the money that's needed to kill this thing. And so what are you going to do? You're going to get up and put your pants on. Are you going to change a habit when it comes to fighting this nasty disease? Are you going to leave behind more than you give? I look at this group tonight, and I know this group's willing to do that. But it's not going to take just money. It's going to take leadership. I mean, leadership. It's going to take people talking to leadership to help pull this together. It's going to take the top doctors in the world willing to talk to the other top doctors in the world to defeat cancer. It's going to take the willingness of people in Congress to fight this disease. Not necessarily just from a money standpoint, but from a leadership standpoint, pulling folks together. And so I encourage you to go beyond Griff's run and gun and talk to those folks in leadership. Give of your time, give of your money. That's what we're asking tonight is for you to give of your time and money to help cure this nasty disease called cancer, and specifically this disease called pancreatic cancer. Because I don't, as I said last year, I don't want to pass this disease on to the next generation. I mean, I think if we let that happen, then we failed our kids, and we can't let that happen. One of my favorite movies is Remember the Titans, and one of the lines in that movie that always sticks out to me is when the Titans are in the championship of the Virginia State title game, and it's halftime, and they're going back out for the second half, and the assistant coach, who for whatever reason I can't think of his name right now, he turns to Coach Boone and he says, "Herman, leave no doubt." And when I think about that line, when I pray all the time, I think about that line a lot, because when I pray all the time, a lot of times I conclude my prayers with, "Lord, leave no doubt." Tonight, in this in you, let's leave no doubt. Let's cure this thing. Let's get it done. I say to you, leave no doubt, because with your help and with His help and with your passion, we can get it done. God bless you. Thank you. And don't forget to write a big check.